Hi, Maddie. I love you too. How are you? On this lovely Thursday evening. Last time on Pokemon Firered, which was like Tuesday, I went to the Elite Four and sort of a little bit got my ass kicked. Well, okay, not really. I got to the champion twice, but I'm way underleveled. Just ate dinner not too long, and I feel like a beanbag. Understandable. So we are leaving Indigo Plateau. Hi, Soda. How are you doing today on this lovely, probably like Friday morning for you? "1:10 a.m. Nice. But you're 6 hours ahead of me, right? You know, I don't know if there are any other high-level trainers to versus seek, because I'm trying to think here, and I'm pretty sure all the ones that are higher level than the ones around Fuchsia are all in caves and shit. Hi, Rain. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? Six hours ahead of the East Coast, 9 hours ahead of the West. 6 and 9, nice. It's also my dad's 60th birthday. Saw 2 pies downstairs. May leave for a moment to grab a slice. They start cutting it. Nice. I'm Kerplode. Sending hugs and head pats. Had an epiphany from a new stream layout of Doom. Sweet. Wanted to hop in and say hello while I will try to fix my sleep schedule on the 69 watch streak. Hell yeah! Based as fuck. I mean, granted, Maddie is usually based as hell, so, you know. This isn't news. I was too impatient. When I whistle, bird Pokemon gather around. They're amazingly cute, just like my chat. Good luck with Pokemans. I'll attempt to sleep for real. I hope you can get a nice good night's sleep, Soda. Usually, I mean, there was that one time when, you were like 4. Yeah, that was a pretty fucked up thing for a 4-year-old to do, but we forgive you. This time. Also, with all of the Pokemon cross Hatsune Miku Vocaloid stuff that they had a while ago, I'm very glad they actually did at least put Miku and Farfetch together at least once. A spicy hot take already? I have not been streaming for 10 whole minutes, Rain. I should be used to this by now. Okay, I'm gonna give you one of my pettiest spicy hot takes of all time. Well, actually, no. I'll give you 2 because my first one is incredibly minute and petty. The other one's just, like, more practical, but a little bit petty anyway. My incredibly petty, spicy hot take is I am still mad to this day that in the original NES version of Super Mario Bros. 3, that when Mario gets a fire flower, he doesn't have the white hat and shirt, and it just turns like fucking orange. Which they fixed that in All-Stars, making All-Stars the better version of Super Mario Bros. 3. I will not be taking any notes. And usually you guys get your water tumbler? Of course. Because I know if I don't have proper hydration nearby, she will find me. My other more practical but still a little bit petty hot take is in modern games, I really... Is it okay for me to say good girl? I mean, sure. Thank you. It is like asking for a friend. You want me to say it? But, no, okay, my other petty thing... Good girl. Ooh. My other really petty thing that I cannot stand with modern games in general, stop putting fucking pop-ups in the far left and far right corners. My over 30 ass is never looking at the far corners of the screen. I grew up with a 4x3 monitor. At least give me the option to put them somewhere else, because I have missed so many little pop-ups in games that do not stay on screen because they're tiny little text on the far left or right of the screen. Give me an option to put that stuff closer to the middle. And for the love of freaking John Henry Adams, fucking give me the option for bigger text. Bro, like, when I am, especially if it's text that flashes on screen and goes away automatically without a button press to get rid of it, it's like, why John Henry Adams specifically? I have no idea. It just came out of my mouth. But yeah, it's like, when I get a fucking pop-up on screen, I don't want to have to pull out my fucking magnifying glass and be like, oh my god, I can't believe it's actually that small. Your eyes haven't evolved to the prey placement where they're on the sides of your head. No, I am a predator mouse, specifically predatoring over a delicious piece of cheese. The cheese is the prey, because every day I pray that I don't run out of cheese. Everyone point and laugh at the front-facing eye haver. Ah! Actually, I feel like that's one of the big issues I have with playing a lot of first-person video games, is your viewpoint's just in a box. When, you know, in real life, your eyes are round, so you can still see stuff you're not looking directly at. At least, you know, a little bit. And you don't really have that in a first-person game, so I don't know, I just find them disorienting in general. And I'm not somebody who's, oh, never played one, got that barrel eye. Only when I'm playing Donkey Kong. I got an eye for barrels. Barrel, barrel. Well, and Atelier, I guess. I love drill pecking. Love having my Pokemon greet me when I get home. It's so reassuring. Okay, chat, what Pokemon would you want to greet you when you got home? For me, I don't know, but I love the idea of a little Esper just, like, staring into space, and then you open the door and just hobbles over to me like, yeah, 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 yeah. Flareon, need a cuddle buddy. Oh my gosh, imagine having a pet Flareon that sleeps in your bed, like, in the middle of winter, and the two of you are just under a blanket being the warmest motherfuckers alive. One sec, I've forgotten every Pokemon. If you have Pokemon autism and someone asks you a Pokemon-related question, you will instantly forget every single Pokemon. Randomly generated Pokemon, I got Stakataka. Okay. You can cuddle with your Stakataka. The literally most bricked up Pokemon of all time. Stakataka will greet me by purring and rubbing on my leg. That has the same energy as like the random text that you get from your follower Pokemon in Heart Gold and Soul Silver that does not take into account what Pokemon it is. You know, you get stuff like, oh, Scyther poked you in the tummy. Or, you know, Groudon is playing in the rain. Wailord suddenly hugged you. Okay. I'm going to try to go into Indigo Plateau and see if it'll let me rematch the trainers in here, but I don't think it'll let you use the Versus Seeker in a cave. Politoed voted Democrat. Good. At least that's one Pokemon we can count on. Loomberry. I never even pronounces it Lum. Is this supposed to be Loom? Because I always thought that the little yellow guys you grab in Rayman were supposed to be called Looms. Because, you know, like, luminosity, illumination. And I don't know if they ever pronounce it officially in any of the Rayman games. Words are made up bullshit trash. That's fair. But in addition to that, it's like... Okay, let's see if it'll let me do it. No, I can't Versus Seek in a cave. God damn it. But, I always thought they were Looms, but there are evil versions in Rayman 3 called Hoodlums, so I guess it is Lum? I mean, it is funny to me whenever, with certain people, when you tell them a word they don't know, they'll tell you that you made it up, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter, all words are made up, dude. Made up by somebody. I didn't know you knelt before other people's authority. Kneeled? Knelt? I guess I'm making up words now, too. But then again, I'm also the person who came up with the name Splunkdinko, so... I've done things to the English language people would not talk to their mother about. Name might come from plum. Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a good point. You made that word up, and what if I did? Bro, really gonna hate on somebody for making up words in the era of Skibbity Riz? Though granted, Riz hilariously just came to be because somebody couldn't spell the word charisma. Man, it is like all bird keepers through here. I'm not trying to put you guys through the billion birds beatdown. We only use words that were preloaded into our brains from birth. We'd have like filler words like ah, and that's it. I mean, I personally think there's this weird mental blockage people have that if, like, you know somebody, they suddenly don't have any kind of authority to do anything. You know, like, if you're in the room with somebody. Because, like, language is not a naturally occurring thing in nature. It's all made up. But people don't realize, like, things that came before them were also made up by people. Also, I do have my fan going. It's not too noticeable, is it? Gwen! Haven't noticed? Okay, good. Pizza obtained in Kea on the mobile device. Awesome! Hi, Cole. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? Words probably aren't even how humans are supposed to communicate predominantly, which is why they suck at getting across their message more often than not. It's fair. I'm sorry, it is far too roasty toasty out there for me to turn my fan off right now. Good going, you totally won. Completely sort of unrelated, but every single social media post PlayStation has put out since the announcement, no one is discussing anything they post. They are just raging over the situation. Justifiably so, because it's a really stupid decision. Even fucking NBC has reported on it. Like, normal, regular news outlet NBC. And, I feel really bad for a lot of the devs that paid for promotional spots on PlayStation social media, because it's a pretty commonly known thing that for the last, like, 8 or 9 years or so, PlayStation does not communicate at all with any of their partners, like third parties or anything, about any decision that they're going to be making in the future. So a lot of devs and publishers and studios paid for, you know, advertisement on PlayStation social media, which, you know, under normal circumstances, you play PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo to be promoted on their normal social media to kind of get in front of the normal audience, you know, the regular audience. But every single game that's been promoted has had nothing to do with the game. Everything's been downvoted like crazy for obvious reasons. Okay, not on purpose, but our emotes look like Terriermon and Wooper, just tired out Shen. That's just the life of being... That's the reality of having to be like a Pokemon or Digimon trainer or tamer or whatever. Is you still got to take care of the babies. The reality of being a Pokemon. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Demon Goldeen that gives you 666 experience. on the bright side, I am very, at least from multiple sources, have seen things that Nintendo is going to be making 16 and 32 gigabyte Switch 2 cartridges. So hopefully more games with smaller file sizes can get physical releases, because initially within the launch year, all of the Switch 2 cartridges are 64 gigabytes, and they are more expensive to produce than Switch 1 cartridges or like, you know, Blu-ray or DVD discs or anything like that. So Goldiner, modern day metal slime. You know, a part of me does want to stream some Dragon Quest sometime, but I am never sure how to go about it because every game has like 15 remakes and they all add and remove different things. Like, way long ago, I actually streamed the Steam version of the demo for Dragon Quest VII Reimagined. But it, like, removed so much content from the PS1 version, it didn't really feel that much like Dragon Quest VII. Yeah. Meow, meow, meow. Andrea sent out Meowth. Also, I meant to mention this up front, but today's probably going to be a shorter stream. Most of the time, if I'm streaming after days I work, I'm going to go for the short stream for my own health. But I figure today will just be some grinding. I'd like to get a few of the cuties at least up to level 55. Meow. School is fun, but I think Pokemon are fun too. Same. Well, except about the school being fun part. I don't know, then again, like... I feel like if I had got the chance to actually properly go to college, you know, in a time and place where there's an economy where having a college degree actually gets you a job, I probably would have enjoyed it more. I've mentioned it before that, like, I never really got to finish college because, like, personal real-life stuff happened, and by the time I thought about going back, like, the prices and everything and the economy had bottomed out. You know, it's the same thing where, you know, skill issue for everybody born 2000 or later for not buying a house while they were 2 years old, 4 years old. It's like, you dumb bitch, you were in preschool when you should have been buying your first house. If I wasn't so absurdly depressed, I might have actually considered going to college. I mean, the other thing is, like, everything I have ever wanted to do as a career does not require a college degree. And I remember talking to Mom about it and kind of being a little bit sad about it. And, you know, she was like, you know, for context, my mom had 4 college degrees. She managed to loophole a bunch of stuff where, like, credits for a course would count toward multiple degrees, so she just got all of them. She had, like, business, accounting, arts administration. I think at least one of them was just an associate's degree, but... Gamer Stan. And, you know, like... I'm like... I haven't gone to college at all, and Mom's like... But you never stop studying. You never stop learning. It's just the stuff you study about doesn't really require college courses. And she also said, you know, there's also the fact that you're not hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt. That's nice too. No, it is actually crazy to me. Like, apparently, like, massive college debt is another one of those things that's just in the US. Also, you know, my mom went to college in, like, the 90s, so, it was much more doable back then. Which also loops back around to what I mentioned before about her not having a babysitter and some of the teachers just being cool with me sitting in the college classes. Because I think I've mentioned this on stream before, but she had one art teacher, just really cool guy, really smart, really fun, great sense of humor. You know, I'm pretty sure he was at least in his early 50s at the time. And he really liked, just like really got along with me. He thought it was cool that, you know, somebody who like, I was probably like 9 or 10 at the time, was was also enthusiastic about art and drawing and learning stuff. And, you know, there's this one thing where like, I was just kind of sitting there in the class, you know, like, I think I just had a sketchbook and I was doodling while Mom and, you know, everyone else who was actually in the class was doing the work. And generally with a lot of the, like, art history questions and stuff, my mom would be the only person who would raise her hand for an answer. And he put, like, some paintings up on a projector, and one of them was Starry, Starry Night. And he's like, okay, does anybody know, you know, what this painting is? You know, classic painting, the artist. We'll start with an easy one. And nobody raises their hand. My mom slowly raises hers, and he goes, not Karen. Mom, like, slowly lowers her hand down, and I raise mine up enthusiastically. And he goes, oh, okay, just the 10-year-old. And everyone else in, like, the freaking college just, like, shuffles around awkwardly. I would have wanted to go to college for the social aspect, but I would have only gotten 2 years of that before certain events. Yeah, there's that too. Passion goes a really long way in the world. It really does. I mean, I feel like in general, a lot of the reason why people aren't successful at things they set out to do is a combination of people getting incredibly deeply stuck in the idea that things are a zero-sum game. And if someone else is succeeding, somehow that means like people think there's a finite amount of success in existence. And the other thing is people just stopping. And I mean, sometimes you stop something you were passionate about because you find a new passion and realize what your actual calling is. But a lot of times, people just kind of give up. Because I feel like, in general, most people are much smarter and much better at just about anything they would want to do than they assume they are. But so many people grow up their entire life being told you can't, you're not special, you'll never be enough. Even if they're not told that kind of thing directly, they get a lot of subconscious things like that pushed onto them. Especially if, you know, they end up in a situation where, like, if you have any kind of learning issue in school, even if it's something super simple, like being nearsighted, not always being able to see the board, it's like so many teachers are just absolutely cruel and mean-spirited about it. Oh wait, I just remembered I can fight swimmers. Maybe that'll be a good way to level up Venusaur. Of course, I've never really understood why so many people who really do not like children become teachers, because it can't be for the money. 20 more steps. Dee 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 dee. For the power, maybe? I guess? Swimmer Richard. I came to the stream at the right time to see that, Richard. Oh yeah, Speedos. Hi, Guru. How are you doing today on this lovely, probably Friday morning for you? Not necessarily passion, but I was very determined to pass high school because no one on my dad's side graduated high school. I wanted to make my dad proud. Well, that is awesome. I am proud of you, Cole. Doing fine. Warmed up. Yeah, it's a really weird thing. The North American release of Gold and Silver and Crystal actually changes these guys' Speedos to look like they're kind of like maybe compression shorts. Then in every game afterward, they just didn't censor them in North America. Yeah, because the North American version of Gold and Silver has all kinds of weird censorship. Some I understand. Like, they took the cigarettes away from the fishermen. But some of them, like, with the, you know, beauties and everything, or the female swimmers, like, they're not winking anymore. Or with the beauties, they increased the length of their skirt by like 3 pixels. And I'm like, guys, was this really necessary? It's because they know a weirdo Asian wanted to see the hot sausage package. That's why they stopped censoring the bulge. I mean, one of my favorite things at the very least... Oh, it's chilly. That's why you can't see his bulge. Remember, Kaya, women are scary. I know every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, ah! A girl? No, one thing I do appreciate about a lot of modern, like, anime, some video game stuff, is that they have finally stopped flattening out bulges and just, you know, you realize, wait, people who are attracted to men engage with media. Women are scary. I think I need exposure therapy. Well, start exposing. Oh my god, a woman? Oh, traumatic. Let's see, what am I at? 59. Best time to show up. Women. Hi, Whoopie. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening? We're doing some grinding in Firered, leveling up the cuties to take on the Elite Four. Okay, apparently every Tentacool in the local area wants to come hang out with me. Just got home from the beach. How are you? Ooh, swimming Whoopie. Well, I mean, I guess you're a Whooper. That does make sense. What I'm learning is if you talk about women, more will show up. Mm-hmm. That's because all the girls I know are fucking gay. Streamer note. Thursday. $32. That wasn't even 20-something steps. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna go over here, run in a circle. I'm running in a circle. I like circles, even though that's kind of a square shape, because I can only run in 4 directions. Wow, only one, huh? Oh, Kea. Yeah, that's me. What's beyond the horizon? Trails beyond the horizon? Douglas. My mic isn't muted or anything. My brain just stopped for a sec. New Kamen Rider. Oh yeah, Myth. I saw that. It is funny. Several people actually sent me that. But it is very cool. I like it quite a lot. And I very much do like the new Kamen Rider design for Myth. Actually, a very good play on the how like Japanese transliterates to English and stuff too. Alrighty, more like Women Rider, am I right? I mean... This one, Kamen Rider, was edgy, honestly. I cannot believe the Guru Neko, of all people, misses something being edgy. As a first-rate Zodiac, I am also a bit biased toward it. Firered. Wow, my dyslexia'd all over that thing. Rat. Spelled rate. It was me. Look, man, I grew up when Kamen Rider was low-key scary. I mean, I feel like everything was kind of edgy in the 2000s, though. In the early 2010s a little bit. Also, I'm sure I've mentioned this on stream before, so fun free fact, Kamen Rider is the reason that Bug is super effective against Dark in the Pokemon games. Of course I would re-challenge the Magikarp guy, why not? Japanese loves Bug, true. I know that, like, bug collecting and, like, you know, battling, like, rhinoceros beetles and stuff is a very big thing, culturally. Grew up on that one, first one to watch was with my brother. Okay, Whoopi, give me just one moment and I will generate a spicy hot take from the pits of my brain. So enjoyed Amazon Kamen Rider. Mom told me that one got canceled for violence. Hi, Gusty. How are you doing today on this lovely Wednesday evening? No, not Wednesday. How are you doing today on this lovely Thursday evening for me, Friday morning for you? I like how some of the booty emotes are actually shaking to the battle music. Amazon's too violent for the Showa youth is appalling to me. Like, even that upsets some parents. Doing good, did some art fight stuff, and winding down with The Sims. My first one I finished? Maybe you fished it. So 2 of those emotes are made by me, and nice. Someday I need to commission you for some little mouse booty shaking of some sort or another. Look at him wading back and forth, just a wiggling. Got a sticky note it. Wait, I can't see what that is. You down to do that for free? Oh, I feel like that'd be asking too much. Meeting. Don't worry, Whoopi, I haven't forgotten about your hot take. I just... ADHD things. Okay. Makes one of us because I forgot already. Okay, my hot take. I think that sticking to having Ganondorf be the villain almost all the time is really holding back the storytelling potential of the Legend of Zelda series. I mean, I think in general, locking it to the trifecta of always being about Link, Zelda, and Ganon just is limiting the series in general. To be honest, most of my favorite Zelda games are the weird ones. I just don't think Ganon or Ganondorf are particularly that interesting or memorable as villains. Aside from just being the villain of the Zelda series. And it is really irritating the amount of times that the Zelda series has come up with an interesting villain who actually had a backstory and a reason, and then Ganon just boots them off of the stage and they spin and fly into the air like Team Rocket and he takes over. So disappointed when they didn't just make the Zonai the Twilight. That didn't really bother me too much. It would have been cool, but okay. Another thing, and this isn't really a hot take, but it's slightly adjacent. Just want to be fucked by Ganon. I'm not saying they should never Ganon, but I'm saying use Ganon when it's interesting, not out of obligation. And yes, generally thought where they were going with it. Well, my thing is, like, I don't think about that stuff too often with Zelda, because I do not ever consider the Zelda games being in a timeline or a continuity with each other when I play one. I only think about it when the game specifically draws attention to it, like Wind Waker or Link Between Worlds. Use Ganon when he's interesting, yes, because when he fucks me, I mean, yeah, that would be an interesting use of Ganon. It's like, oh yeah, I love that Zelda game. That's the one where Ganon just fucks my friend who lives in Japan. They weren't particularly a part of Zelda canon, just brought them in there to just fuck them. Part of the game caught me off guard too, but hey, it's a bold new direction. Or a bold nude erection. The joke is an erect penis. It's very experimental. Get out. It's canon. Ganon's canon. Is canon as canon? It's a Japan exclusive because of the Western Puritan culture. But the Sero doesn't allow any sex in games either. It's like there's this like fucking puritanical, uncanny valley. We're like, you can have more sex in a game for America, but America hates sex. And Japan's more okay with it, but they won't let them put it in video games. Then again, Sero tends to treat video games like they're all children's toys. It still fucks me up that most of the Resident Evil games do not ever get official uncensored releases in Japan outside of Steam. Like, if you buy, like, fucking Requiem or something for, Switch 2 or PS5, it's gonna be censored. Even the Sero Z version is censored. So you have this weird thing where, like, the real version of the art made by a Japanese studio is not available to the mainstream Japanese public. But then again, America's super okay with, like, death and gore and murder and stuff as long as no one can see a boobie. Like in that one thing with the State of Play where they showed that horror game I don't remember the name of because they all fucking blend together now. Where, you know, like, somebody just fucking squishes a zombie's baby's head and brains and shit are flying everywhere. Blame our censorship. The weirdest thing to me with Japanese censorship is censoring the porn. It's like, yeah, you can totally show his dick. Just make sure there's a tiny little black stripe covering the head. Make sure it's just a little bit pixelated. Feel the sun and the wind. No, it's the wind and waves. Or the sun and moon. Started on the porn censoring. It's so fucking weird. You show a hole, but once that hole's penetrated, then you have to censor it. I don't want to get into too much details because I know some users get uncomfortable, but I have so many opinions. I mean, I put 18 plus on the tag on every one of my streams for a reason. And that reason is penis. Ass. Hole. Asshole. Censors are weird. Ashole. Okay, this is, like, a weird thing to me, but it's, like, I feel like asshole is neutral if it's not being used as an insult. But I feel like butthole is always gross. Like, an asshole is just, like, the part of the body, but a butthole is, like, when it's specifically about pooping or something. Which, like, weirdly enough, I feel like even though it doesn't have a curse in it, calling someone a butthole is, like, a worse insult than calling them an asshole. Because, you know, you can be an asshole if you just, like, the person who snatches the last piece of pizza from the fridge. Once bonded with a man about censorship because we both thought it was annoying. There's a straight man who draws women porn, but we both shook hands on how annoying it is. Well, you see, that's the thing. Like, all people who draw, and it's not always pornographic stuff, just anything that's not considered the super normal mainstream, I feel like can all kind of shake hands together. We have to unite with our brother and sister and they, them sibling and to stand against any kind of censorship, really. It's like, even the horrible shit that I really would rather not watch or know about, I still don't think it should be censored. I will just not engage with it. It's amazing how easy it is to just not do something. It's like that one tweet from the official Doom account. It's like, you control which buttons you press. Oh my gosh, 35 steps, holding my shaky shake hostage. How can you do this to me? Literally insane for that. Which part? The 35 steps? I'm kidding, Maddie. I know what you mean. I think that experience made me more open to men who are NSFW artists because I have yet to be harassed by them despite me drawing BL porn. Well, most NSFW artists are generally pretty chill. But then again, most of them like actually get to come every once in a while instead of being freaking... I can't think of the fucking word. Repressed. So that probably helps. It's amazing how much healing power there is in splarking your doinkus. Had the image of them being sweaty and gooners. But a lot of them know how to talk to him. Well, yeah, I mean, I would imagine so. Because the thing is, most of the time, the sweaty gooners are the ones who are, like, trying to censor all that kind of stuff, while also engaging with it a lot, somehow. But then again, like, narrow-minded people are so weird. They just, if anything brings them any kind of happiness, that they hate it. I wish women were real. Just do what I did, Cole. Become one. Be the change you want to see in the world. And that change is blessing the world with one more pair of hooters. Tired of having a penis that's so heavy. I feel like it's just shame around sex and sexual things that makes people act all nuts censoring it. Been one for 3.5 years. It's been nice. Rain out here hogging all the girl juice. No, unfortunately, most of what's stopping me is just fucking finances. Because the bills go up and the grocery prices go up, but guess if they increased my paycheck proportionately to my cost of living. I want you to guess. Yeah, finances will do that. Warned you before, this is my turf. HRT is just a comically large bottle labeled girl juice or boiled juice, and you drink it like a Looney Tunes character. God, I fucking wish. Just be like pushing people out of the way. I'm like, give me that shit. Just like fucking chugging it with it running down my like chin and neck, like that one gif from Friends of the dude drinking an entire gallon of milk. Affectionately refer to HRT as dumb bitch juice. Oh, Joey? No, not from Yu-Gi-Oh! From Friends. I'm kidding, Cole. I know what you mean. Audible. Whoa. Wait, that sounded a little Banjo-Kazooie. Yes, the bimbo juice. Actually, you know, thinking about it, Banjo from Banjo-Kazooie kind of is a himbo, huh? Because, like, it's interesting with, like, fans of Banjo-Kazooie. There are two completely different takes on their relationship. You know, some people view them as, like, the world's closest platonic besties who happen to be different genders, and other people, like, interpret it as a really unorthodox romantic relationship. I'm down with both. Sorry, I was laughing at the visual of the giant bottle. Beware of bimbofication. I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I'm already genetically prone to have a fat ass and thick thighs. And, my mom was a triple D cup, so, went from a depressed guy to a slightly less depressed punk girl. Okay, but you know, going from being depressed but to being depressed with a rockin' pair of Hooters, that's an improvement. And it doesn't matter how big or small they are. All pair of Hooters fucking rock, dude. Doesn't matter if they're big or small or real or fake. Because, you know, honestly, I feel like there's this weird stigma around getting, like, breast implants or augments or whatever. It's like, oh, just be your natural body. It's like, no, just be fucking comfortable. Be happy with what you see in the mirror. It doesn't matter what anybody else wants. Also extremely thin. I mean, I'm not, like, overweight or anything. I was, like, omega super thin in my teens. Like, to where it was kind of a problem. But I kind of grew out of that as I got to the end of my 20s into my early 30s. I do need to lose some weight, though. I can tell a little bit of it's not healthy. But every single time I lose weight, I just lose it from, like, my thighs or my ass, and I'm like, not there. Like I said, I'm not, like, super crazy overweight. I just want to slim down and get myself in better shape. My body's one of those third-grade class projects where you make a structure out of toothpicks and marshmallows and pray to God it holds the weight of a single textbook. You know, I didn't know that you were, like, built like a Zoroark IRL. Is that the reason you were a Shadow Fox? Saying you're an A+, Ulu. Checks out, Rain, because we always want some more of you. It's true. You aren't meant to expose my secrets like this. Man, it is 8 o'clock and it is still bright and sunny outside. Fuck summer, dude. That was a good one. Womp, womp, womp. A soundbite I really need is like, okay, there's this game for the Sega Genesis based on the Disney movie Fantasia. It is really bad. And a friend of mine had it, I think rented it when I was really little, and I remember so vividly whenever you took damage, it made a sound like ramp up womp. And I want a soundbite of that specific sound effect because it is just such the perfect you done fucked up kind of sound effect. Just want to be cold again. Girl, you got no fat on your body and you're trying to be cold? How else do you catch a fox? I mean, I've got a lot of hot foxes in my chat right now. What are you talking about? What was the game called again? Oh my god, Whoopi, can you please be more specific? My brain goes 1,000 miles an hour, especially when I'm streaming, so something I said 30 seconds ago is far in the back distance. I overheat stupid easy, don't know why or how. You're just too hot, girl. Too hot? Hot damn. Oh, Fantasia for the Sega Genesis, yes. You said the womp womp womp. It's Fantasia for Sega Genesis. Fun fact, and thank you, Cole. The Fantasia for Sega Genesis was actually made in kind of a they basically sold the rights off by proxy, but Fantasia is one of the works that, like, from the people that worked on it, adaptations are basically not allowed. So the game actually had to be recalled. Because it was basically developed and distributed under false pretense. Kind of like Tengen with Tetris. Pretty sure the Internet Archive has the audio for a lot of games on there. I could try that, yeah. I just actually have to learn to set up sound bites and stuff. Also, you know what's freaking crazy in, like, a cool way? The Walmart near where I work has fucking Stream decks. Like, just actual regular-ass Stream decks you can just go in there and buy in the electronics section. Damn it, why are there two things in video games called Stream Deck and Steam Deck? Silly Fantasia was on Super NES. It was by Bandai. No, wrong. Tales of Fantasia was by Namco before they merged with Bandai. They didn't merge with Bandai until the mid to late 2000s. But the Tales series is from the Namco side, actually. Sorry, I was pushing up my glasses and holding up one finger. I'm so sorry I actually do. I'm not that sorry. I mean, it's not like you really play that much of the Tales series anyway, right, Cole? So you're probably just not familiar with it. Though it is actually really funny, a lot of Namco games were distributed by Bandai on the NES before they merged as a company. Also, Namco Bandai. Yeah, I said it right. Bandai Namco. They keep changing it. But they actually do not own the rights to Ms. Pac-Man right now. By a weird fucked up chain of events. Oh, everyone up playing games right now. Somehow the rights to Miss Pac-Man belong to I think At Games? Makes you feel better. They are all going to go bankrupt and disappear, probably. Played Symphonia 2 and Hearts R. I love Core Meteor. You know, the localization for Hearts R is fucking weird. Because they left characters like Kohaku and stuff like that, but they changed to Shing's meteorite's name to Core Meteor. Hydro Hump. It's tempting, but I know with Hydro Pump I will miss literally every single time. Low-key, though, Hearts R has, like, really fun combat. I just wish we had gotten an official English localization for the DS trilogy. Just as I thought. It is I, the thought. Plus a random reminder if anybody wants to check their TCG pocket. Oh, Core Meteor was the protagonist for Final Fantasy V. That's why they go in meteors. Oh, it's all coming together. Also, guys, I haven't forgotten about Final Fantasy V. I promise we'll get back to it. It's just, I like having a Pokemon game in rotation because when I get home from job and I'm tired, I can just kind of play Pokemon and it's not, like, super strenuous. This series is very much a comfort kind of series for me. It's Toragic. Running back and forth. Dang, only you, huh? I get that. I love Monster Hunter, but I can't play it as much because it just takes too much energy. That's kind of why it's taken me so long to finish Mina the Hollower. The game requires you to actually, like, focus and concentrate a lot. Which is fine, and it's a fantastic game. It's probably one of my favorite games that's released in, like, the last few years, but it's like, I don't know why I'm saying probably, it's definitely one of my favorites. Besides, you play as a little mouse girl, and she's cool and smart and fun, and she's a mouse. But it's like, I have taken forever to finish it because, like, a lot of the stuff in that game is very difficult. And I'm like, yeah, I cannot concentrate or execute properly enough to actually do this right now. Love you, Lagaya, Chris. I mean, honestly, shout out to all those people who got really good at Monster Hunter on, like, a fucking 3DS or PSP, because, like, I don't know what it is, but for smaller dedicated handhelds, I have kind of a problem sometimes playing action games. I don't have big hands or anything, but I still feel like it gets really cramped. Well, that and I know, like, Monster Hunter Claw is kind of a thing for the PSP veterans. I do want to play more of the Monster Hunter games. I have 3 Ultimate on Wii U. I've got 4 Ultimate on 3DS. I have Generations on 3DS, which is the one I played the most of. I have abnormally tiny hands, so I can't relate. Well, yeah, you're a cat. A spinning cat, no less. Hate how phones are getting bigger because it's a struggle to play Identity V. Yeah, I really want to get the Wii version of Monster Hunter Tri, just because, like, I just love playing Wii, to be honest. But the thing is, most of the Wii games I play are, like, ones that are just, like, normal-ass regular games. You know, like, Last Story, Xenoblade, Arcrise Fantasia, Muramasa, the Demon Blade. I really don't play a whole lot of the games that people think of when they bring up the Wii, which, it is so weird that the Wii's reputation is all about its shovelware, when, like, every other popular game console also has ludicrous amounts of shovelware. Like, the PS2 has crazy amounts of shovelware, so does the DS. Hell, don't even get started on the store for the fucking Switch or the PS4. Just insane amounts of, like, zero-effort slop. And it's just so weird to me that the Wii gets singled out specifically. And Guru, I'm kind of 50-50 on it with phones, because I know phones keep getting bigger, because for a lot of people, phones are their singular entertainment device for everything. So it's like upgrading to a bigger TV. But if you use your phone for anything non-passive, like playing mobile games and stuff like that. Shit, I am dropping a lot of frames all of a sudden. Okay, that was weird. But, you know, if you use it for anything non-passive, then yeah, it can become pretty cramped. I ironically like playing Fishing Master on Wii. Well, I know, but you have a little bit more, down-home yeehaw in you than the rest of us, Cole. A little bit more, Daisy Duke's tailgate cold beer in you than the rest of us do. There's a truck in my truck and a beer in my beer, and there's Daisy Dukes on my dog. Heard Monster Hunter, yes. Dude, I keep buying Monster Hunter games and, like, I feel like I have to be in a very specific mood to want to engage with it. Because you can't play Monster Hunter like an action game. It's very methodical. And, like, I hate comparing things to Dark Souls, but I kind of feel like Monster Hunter is in that same vein of, like, thoughtful observation action RPG. I'm on Monster Hunter now. And that's the thing, like, I do have to be in a mood because I tend to like my action games to be fast-paced and kinetic. I'm not saying they're inherently better or worse, it's just a personal preference. But I do like the Devil May Cries and the Bayonetters and... Dude, I love me some fucking 2D action games. Like, I wish the Mega Man Zero games scoring system wasn't so fucking obnoxious, because I love how they actually play. Like, just from a sheer control perspective, the Mega Man Zero games are probably my favorite feeling 2D Mega Man games. Gonna wear camo now if we ever play Monster Hunter together. Don't do that. We'll be like, where the fuck is Cole? You come in the camo pants and like, oh my god, he's a floating torso. Oh, bummer. Expect nothing less from you, Cole. No, like, my very first job that I worked at for a little over a year, like, they would always have fucking country music on the radio, but it wasn't like real country music like, you know, Johnny Cash or something. You know, it wasn't like honky tonk or anything, you know, it was like that fake, weird, I don't know what to call it, like the pop country. Hollywood country, maybe? But it does, like, go to one thing I noticed with a lot of those country songs is, like, one sung by men are about how wonderful the down-home country life is, and one sung by women are about how terrible the down-home country life is. Like, anybody want to look into that? Visiting the mom. I wonder what someone could glean from that. I'm sure it's just a coincidence. See here, that old bronchitis likes to punch and explode stuff, so if he ain't able to see none of us, he can jump up on him like stink a bit. Cole, I could not read that without physically retching. Kinda how I can't talk to a white man about public transport, that's why I low-key hate it. Well, it's Cole, we know you aren't white on purpose, it's okay. You want to know if the fish are biting? I meant the stink. You don't stink, Cole. I would imagine you probably would smell something like the Irish Spring body wash with just like a little bit of a subtle hint. You know, one of those kind of handsome guys that walk by and you're like, oh. Because they like totally have the right fragrance that totally vibes with their like natural scent and stuff. See, that's the thing, Cole, is I bet a bunch of nerd girls have had crushes on you and you've been too oblivious to notice. Which, I'm saying that as someone who has also been very oblivious. A lot. Sprinkle meeting. Everybody on this route is like obnoxiously spaced out. I'm trying to get like 4 or 5 people per versus seek, but it's hard to do. Be company till I get a hit. Nolan. You know, I know Nolan North has voiced Deadpool. Hi, Rain, playing Slay the Spire 2. I know Nolan North has voiced Deadpool in a lot of stuff. I wonder if he'll be voicing him in Tokon also. Because he's also the voice of Nathan Drake in the Uncharted games. My true weakness, the Pokemon ability Oblivious. He is nice. I am honestly low-key a little sad that they didn't get Steven Bloom to voice Wolverine on the new Wolverine game. Not that the new voice actor's doing a bad job or anything. I just like Steve Bloom. May have sent you a certain emote thing on Discord and Telegram. I'm gonna go look right now. I love it, Maddie. It's perfect. Now the shading and everything is just like flawless too. How do you do that? I'll probably get another look over later, but I can't really see anything I'd want to change. Maddie's just good at it. That's true. You think I'd be used to it after a decade. Color put in place, hope for best. The legendary technique. Top 10 times I probably didn't fuck it up, I hope. You know, I also realized even though I can't really stream stuff from the PlayStation 3 without buying, like, a fucking pass-through and some shit, I could technically stream stuff straight from my Xbox 360. And I was wondering if there'd be a market for that, but then I realized that, like, a lot of my audience is people born between, like, 1998 and 2002, so there's probably quite a lot of Xbox 360 nostalgia in this chat. Or nostalgia for games that were on PS3 and 360 both. Though, granted, my experience with the Xbox 360 was, like, seems to be the extreme minority, because I mostly bought it for, like, Blue Dragon, Lost Odyssey, Tales of Vesperia. Everybody grab your favorite sugar-free, caffeine-free beverage of choice. I got my water tumbler right here. And take a nice big sippy. I have nostalgia for N64 and PS2. Granted, my brothers grew up with 90s stuff, so I was influenced by hand-me-downs. I mean, I love N64. I know I've only really played Mario 64 on stream, but I want to play a lot more N64 and PS1 stuff. Because it's hard for me to call one era of gaming my favorite, but, like, I definitely have the big-time nostalgia for a lot of the late 90s and millennial stuff. Millennials forget that some Gen Z grew up with leftovers. I feel like, in general, a lot of people seem to forget that older things continued existing. It's like, you know, fucking all Nintendo 64s and PlayStations and Super Nintendos didn't spontaneously explode in 2001. You know, it's like people weren't only playing the new things. That's kind of a reason why I do appreciate that so many old games are just readily available on Steam and Switch and all that stuff. Could see myself wanting to give the emote a fresh coat of paint in a year or two, but I'll let it have its time. Goes for Cheese Cube as well. I still love the Cheese Cube. That means the world to me, Maddie. You have no idea. It's random, but if anyone wants to know how I am, I think Almaz from Disgaea 3 checks out. I have actually barely played Disgaea 3. I think it's the one I've probably played the least. I have it. I have the PS3 version. But when I play Disgaea 3, Cole, I will fact check you on that. Give my opinion on the my audience born between 1998 and 2000s. Well, I wouldn't say they'd only have nostalgia for it, but I'm just saying they're much more likely to have nostalgia for it. A lot of Gen Zs who have nostalgia for older consoles for the same reason like me. Yeah, that's true. And I do forget that a lot of Gen Z kids and stuff are also kids who grew up with parents who loved video games. And that's something I do forget a lot. Like, my mom loved games, but, you know, growing up as a millennial and stuff, it was very rare for adults to be interested in video games. So I do forget that, you know, like you said, older siblings and stuff like that. Like I said, I wouldn't say people of that age range would only be nostalgic for Xbox. I'm just saying it's much more likely. Because, like, I'm not super nostalgic for the PS3 and Xbox 360 era. Mostly because a lot of my favorite kinds of games were, like, at their least popular in that era. And that in my brain just doesn't cope well with the idea of the Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii being 20 years old. Like, for your era, more often than not, if a parent loved games, it's because their kids introduced them. That's also a factor, yeah. But yeah, it's just like, especially with my time blindness, it takes me a lot of thinking to realize that there are people who are adults who would be nostalgic for Wii, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. Nostalgic for PlayStation 3 because, checks notes, the Tales series. Yeah, that checks out. Well, the thing is, like, Mom and I did play a lot of PlayStation 3 games together and a lot of PS2, so that kind of gives it a special place to me, but my parents played games with us for the first 8-ish years, very rarely. Legit cannot even fathom what's like sharing a game experience with your parents. I mean, in a way, just the way that my mom and I played games together, I guess that, like, streaming and stuff comes naturally because, you know, what I'm doing here with you guys isn't really that different from Mom and I sitting down to play a game together. Siblings and friends were also like that, so it extends to just kind of anyone. I mean, most of my love for anime came from my mom, who grew up in an era where parents at the time think you become stupid the moment you open a manga. Like, a parent like my mom was very rare even in the 2000s and 2010s. Like I said, yeah, similarly, I am actively incredibly aware how lucky and uncommon my mom is. Wait, you swam here from Cinnabar wearing the whole picnicker outfit? Picnicker Missy. I opened a manga once and it shot a needle into my brain to inject this strange liquid, but I'm still kicking. It was probably blackjack. Not the card game, the manga. You know, that just randomly made me think about that one, like, American Hollywood CG animated Astro Boy movie that exists. Or Tetsuwan Atom, if you're spicy. The difference between a deck of cards and a manga, really. A stack of paper with symbols and you know, fair enough. That is valid. Check out my physique. I'm even more buff than ever before. Oh, he must be Guru's type. He's more buff than ever and wearing a Speedo. Get me started on the Atom Boy movie that stars Nicolas Cage as the dad. I forgot about that. Also, fun random fact, the really fucking amazing 2003 Astro Boy series actually was on Saturday mornings in North America on Kids WB, of all things. I remember, like, I was so freaking excited, like, boyfriend gave me big pearls and they've grown bigger. Vine boom. Tell me more about your boyfriend's big pearls. She's an oyster. Wow. Wow. The bubble shield from Sonic 3 and Knuckles is always surprised. Wow. Isn't Pearl Neck? Yes, it is Guru. Well, specifically the type, like, ejected onto your skin. I don't know why I'm being dodgy about this. Never heard that before. Actually, really? Can't be telling a 12-year-old about your boyfriend coming on you. Oh, my running joke is that my character is 30 and just has a baby face because she looks really young, so everyone keeps calling her a little girl. Actually, really, yeah, pearl necklace is a euphemism for, like, you know, basically coming on somebody, usually around the head, chest, or neck area. Grown-ass man. Ass man. Which, like, that's also kind of canon to real life, is, I have had people younger than me talk about how, like, achy they are and stuff like that, and be like, oh, when, and then they'll say something like, oh, when you get to my age, you'll understand, and I'm, like, thinking to myself, I am, like, 6 years older than you at least. It is really jarring to have people younger than you act old. Friend uses grown-ass man as... No, I get it. Like, there are some terms like baby girl, grown-ass man, girly pop, boy. Those are all gender-neutral to me. So I know what you meant. I mean, I do qualify for a senior discount. You have been a high school senior at one point. That's true. I had to have counted at least once at the time. Like, I would hear people my age who pee their pants when they laughed too hard. To me, someone is not doing enough squats because it's a sign of weakened muscles. Yeah. Got to do those pelvic floor exercises. Wow, I cannot believe the Guru Neko art, of all people, would be concerned about muscles. I cannot fathom that. Stressing up exercising is good for you. Yeah, I've been trying to exercise more myself. It's hard to do because job is like, I don't actually move much, but it's still physically exhausting. Remember, everyone, do at least some very mild exercising. Do not have the pee problem because squats. Good. Remember, never piss yourself, only piss other people. Sometimes I forget exercising is something you have to do. Do it when I remember. Okay, that's another thing that happens with the time blindness. Is I'll be like with cleaning, right? You need to basically clean your stuff pretty frequently, obviously, to make sure everything stays clean, doesn't get dusty or anything. And I'll be like, I just cleaned this, and it's been like 3 months. It's like, how was it dirty and dusty again? It's becoming a serious case because desk work jobs are becoming more common. It's very important to move your body. It's weird because I'll get criticized for like shuffling around or moving around or just doing stretches, and people crack jokes about it, and I'm like, bitch, I am trying not to die. Clean vacuum at least once a month. I want to, like, I intend to, but sometimes I just don't know how long it's been. Especially because a lot of times, like, my, 5-6 weeks will blend together and it feels like it's 1 week for me. This is why you look and feel young. You keep your body active. Exactly. I remember, someone who was like, I'm pretty sure in their early 60s at the time. Also off by a while, but the intention's there. Yeah. They're like, oh, well, you should push yourself more while you're young before you get all old and creaky and stuff. And like, bitch, the reason you are creaky and falling apart when you're old is because you pushed yourself too hard. Because, like, you can continually bounce back, but it's like you have to give yourself that downtime to recover. Exercise in a strict routine. Missed only the days I had to miss for a good 6 months. Didn't do it for 1 day and forgot the routine completely. Damn. That's so real, though. I think I'm a jaded college student. I'm 27. No, it is weird. Like, I'll be, like, super mega depresso and just, like, spiraling. And then, like, I'll have a moment of, like, lucidity mid-spiral, and I'm like, shit, when's the last time I exercised or just drank some water? Because, like, sometimes I just, like, have a day where I do more, just go do more exercise and more stuff. And, like, I'll have eaten more than I usually do on the day, and I'll have, like, kept my liquids up better, and I'm like, hey, I don't feel like shit. What happened? Yeah, second you forget a habit, it's just gone. Now things have moved around where I literally cannot exercise in the ways that I did. Just made my brain just give up. That's another issue I have is, like, I try not to be this way, but sometimes I get stuck to where things are, like, in a certain specific kind of rigid way. And when I can't get that, I just like, for some reason, my brain doesn't even try to think of anything else to. It's like, okay, well, we can't do this ever again. Everything sucks. I don't feel like... Oh, wait, hold on. Are my basic needs met for the day? It's an excuse, don't you want to figure out something if I really tried, but it's hard to want to. I understand that, definitely. Especially, it's hard to want to exercise in the fucking summer when it's like, you know, it'll be fucking 8:30 at night and it's still 90 degrees. Hate being the person who says, exercise more, but it really does help. It does help. It actually does. Just something like... One thing I need to do is clear out some space, because one of my favorite things I love to do is dance. And I just haven't really had room to do that lately. Just a lot has been happened, you know, and I'm not going to go super into it. I just don't have a whole lot of space in the living room right now for cleaning other things reasons. Summer's the most miserable time to try to get yourself to exercise. It really is. Felt very good for those 6 months. Also, the first half of 2020, so that's saying something. I don't know, 2020 was such a mixed bag because, yeah, there was the thing that happened, but I feel like everyone being at home and the roads being clear, it's like, it did so much good for the environment, but people actually got to live a life of enjoying things they're passionate about and hobbies, and like, I know there's the running joke of everyone trying a sourdough starter, but people were trying things. We get it, it's the Pokemon plushies, you bought all of them. No. I am so sad, because when they had the Hoenn sitting cuties available, I was broke at the time, and I still do not own a Mawile plush to this day, and it breaks my heart. Propel back in the top slot. Ramiro with a Dodrio. I consistently exercised for like a year before transitioning, and about 6 months into it, and we had the pipe burst. We were displaced from our home for like 6 months. Oh, that sucks so hard. I feel like I vaguely remember you mentioning that at some point long ago when the pyramids were still young. Sorry, I quote that from the English Yu-Gi-Oh! Intro a lot. But it's one of those things, like, I've heard people say, like, why did they make so many ruins in the past? I'm like, they didn't make ruins. I've legitimately heard somebody say, why did everybody in the 90s draw with, like, the retro art style? And I'm like, it wasn't retro back then. Company was meant to fix it basically dragged their feet every possible... Oh, that's fucking miserable. That sucks so hard. I hate it so much because, like, there's so many businesses that'll just do shit like that and just, like, you know, bring your entire life to a screeching halt, and there's nothing you can really do about it aside from report them later, but that doesn't get your shit fixed. I imagine there wasn't a lot of creativity at the time when everything was black and white back then. No, it was only black and white in 2011 on the Nintendo DS. So we had a crawl space and they wanted to blame the water damage on raccoon piss and charge us extra. What, did they have raccoon evidence? Did they just bring out the raccoon? Did they bring their own raccoon and have it pee on the floor? You I did ask my mom, did everyone see Black and White? So I can't comment on this. I feel like every kid has asked their parent that once, at least. No, it's not stupid. It's just like when you're a kid, you don't know any better. But sure, you can admit another stupid moment if you want to. Like I said, we've all had them. See, I'm a streamer, so I get to have my stupid moments in front of you guys live, recorded forever on the internet. Marlon with the fear hoe. Marlon? I guess it'd be Marlon, not Marlone. My apologies to all the Marlins watching right now. Shut down in flames. And V8 back on top. Sorry, I am winding down. I apologize for my commentary tapering off. The tired is finally getting to me. So I would be 23 years old when I realized, but you know how bikers would ride together? They always seemed to know when they turned, and it puzzled me. I assumed they had like an Olympic Russian level of telekinetic abilities to fight in unison. Then I had to find out that they're communicating through microphones inside their helmets. No, that like you don't have to feel that stupid about it, because like there are some athletic things where like they actually do get that in sync with each other to where they just all know what they're gonna do, especially with like ballet and stuff. So it's not that much of a stretch, I think, to assume that, you know, people who do like the biking stuff would know that, or would have that kind of like just in sync with each other. It is interesting to me. So they were like synchronized swimmers where they just know. Yeah, like I said, that's not that much of a stretch, I think. So you don't need to feel too dumb for that. Okay. I think I will do one more run of knocking around some bird keepers and then we'll call it, because I am getting very tired and quite hungry. Okay, I ended up fading and now back, but I think I'm going to head out, go get some comfy rest. Okay, Cole, you have a good rest. Like I said, I'm not going to be streaming much longer, maybe like another 5 minutes or so. And yes, I will get some good rest too, do not worry. Okay, you can hit all 4 of them at once with it. Nice. Do y'all stay cute? Oh, don't worry. I will. Same with you, me. Imagine getting a good night's rest. It's a crazy idea. But no, I am actually trying to give myself the self-control to not stream till 11 o'clock on days when I have job tomorrow. So the big streams will be for usually on days that I'm off from the job. I talked this over with Maddie. I think I mentioned it on my previous stream, but I am trying to actually be smart and adjust things to where I'm putting my health first while still having a reasonable stream schedule. Self-care and all that good shit. Okay, I think we will go ahead and have V8 punch Carter around a little bit, and then we'll probably call it a stream. Fly back to the Pokemon Center and Fuchsia and heal up and everything. We actually got a lot more levels overall than I thought we would. Instead of leveling just one up to 55 or something, I really like having my Pokemon team's levels even. It just, it scrunkles the brain good. Brain scrunkles. When I see playthroughs of all their Pokemon varying levels in like a 12 level range, oh no, like, it hurts me so much when I see someone's playthrough and they've got like their level 30, or like their level 68 Charizard and like their level 50 legendary, like 2 level 50 legendaries, and then like a fucking level 8 Pidgey that they have for Fly. It's like, ew, you But anywho, I noticed that 7th is actually doing a stream. It's been a while since he's been on, so let's go ahead and raid 7th. I box team members briefly because they gain more EXP. I've done that before too. Raid! Raid? Oh yeah. I'm trying to raid, but it's not coming up. What the hell? Okay, there it goes. See,